Hello, V-Day 74 I think. Direction, post office, mission, get some packages. My wife ordered more books. Like 1,400 isn't enough. If she keeps getting books with this pace, we can open a personal library or private library within the next 10 years. Yay. I've been completely, absolutely in a hurry since Wednesday morning. And I've been home from rehearsals so late that editing and uploading anything hasn't been my #1 priority. So that's why these vlogs are a bit late. But anyway, it will be a calm weekend though. Tomorrow we're going to go swimming, and tomorrow morning I have to pay a visit to the library. I need more books to read that I don't have to keep because I don't have any room for them. And I don't really like the idea of buying books because, well, you own them and you can read them whenever you want. That's good. But I don't have this urge to have a lot of books in my bookshelf. I only have about 24 books that I own. I like to spend my money on CDs. Those are easier to I don't know the word. But anyway, you can stack more CDs in a shelf that you can stack books. Yeah. And as a songwriter, I'm still having that kind of power metal phase. Power metal melodies constantly playing in my head. Don't know why. But there's one feature that's it's especially in Finnish metal, obviously. That if you take a song, let's say some older Stradivarius, when Tolkki was still around, and you slow that song down and change the time signature from 4/4 to 3/4. Most likely what you're going to get is very close to Finnish folk music. Same thing with something like Sentenced. If you take one of their songs and rearrange it from heavy metal to something lighter, that's also very close to traditional Finnish folk music. But it's especially in Sentenced, this kind of a northern melancholy, which is very, very Finnish. And that's something you can't find from, let's say, German power metal. But you can find it in many, or the same kind of melancholy. Northern, mid-European power metal is much more happier what comes to melodies and chord harmonies and all that stuff. But Finnish metal is, for some reason, very kill me please type of stuff. And of course, well, Sentenced made a career out from singing about dying. So you can do it without being a death metal band. But I've been experimenting with some sequencing stuff, trying to work out the harmonies of some Finnish power metal songs. And actually, if you change the time signature, you're getting folk music. Only thing that makes it metal is the arrangement and what instruments they have used. You know, distorted guitars, drums, bass, keyboards, high-pitched vocals. But if you rearrange that stuff, it's actually very, very traditional. And as I said, that's something you don't find from bands that are from other countries, although they're playing basically the same music, The genre is the same, but the harmonies, melodies and arrangements are a whole lot darker. Well, anyway, what can you expect? Finnish in Finland, most part of the year it's either dark or getting dark. So being melancholic isn't that surprising. By the way, I got a message from a person who wanted to know who are my favorite hip-hop artists. So I replied that I'm not listening hip-hop. I don't follow anything that's hip-hop related. And the message he sent it back was nearly killing me. I don't remember the exact words, but the basic idea was, well man, why are you wearing like a hip-hop dude? Well, if you're watching this, you have missed something. I live in Finland. Arctic Circle goes right through. It's winter. Hello! It's about -25. So that's why I have this hat and I'm padded like an Eskimo. Because t-shirt, leather jacket and ripped jeans doesn't work when it's about 20 below. Believe me, been there, tried that, doesn't work. Although I was, about 15 years younger than, more than 15 years younger than. And I don't like being frozen. So basically, the genres of music or styles of music that I like are heavy metal and hard rock. Simply because, well, the older kind of hard rock bands like Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, Deep Purple, some Whitesnake are actually coming from my dad. My dad's a huge rock fan, and when I was a teenager, you couldn't be a rebel through music in our house because you put something on that, like a teenager, this is going to freak out my parents. No, you put the CD on, and after a few minutes my dad was behind the door with this cassette tape. Could you record that record for me? So then he was pushing his lawnmower and listening to Ride the Lightning by Metallica. So that kind of a dad. So you couldn't be a rebel through music, because anything that has notes and doesn't have these kind of death metal or black metal vocals, anything goes. What comes to my father, anything that has something to do with heavier rock, give it to me. One small correction, it's not 25 below right now, it's about, let's say 10 below. But still, it usually gets pretty cold up here during winter. I don't remember if I have told this story before, but when I was born, my dad actually had a music gear collection. He had bass guitars, electric guitars, electric organs, amps, effects, these old school stump boxes, and he sold them all after I was born. And well, the reason is and was pretty obvious. You have a newborn in a house, not that much money in the bank, so what can you do? And he likes playing, he loves playing, but couldn't afford to get a new guitar. So we bought him a Stratocaster for his 50th birthday. We got an amp, straps, cables, picks, the whole thing. Just gave it to him. And now when I'm older, and I know, well, I don't say quite a lot, but I know something about music gear, amps and all that. I've seen some old photographs with this stuff laying something in the background. And I go like, why? Because there are, you know, Gibson Ripper bass, some really vintage guitars. Well, today we can call it vintage. And, you know, Ashdown amps with cabinets, case organ by Yamaha. Well, I don't know the English word for it, but when it's kind of closed and ready to roadied, it looks like a big traveling trunk or something like that. When you open it up, there's an electric organs with 2 keyboards in it. And I know the value of that stuff, and he still has, and he still owns some old stump boxes that are, you know, nowadays people are searching for stuff like that. Old Ibanez phasers and all that stuff. People are actually looking for it from eBay or from somewhere else. And he had that stuff all the years. And now when we bought him that guitar, he puts them back to use, which is good, because I think effects, amps and instruments will stay in the best possible condition when you do what they were supposed to do. Instruments are meant to be played. If you want to keep them in best possible condition, use them. That's what they were made for in the first place. It's 10:20 and it's time to call the quits for today. And tomorrow we're going to go to the swimming hall, and then I would like to have some time to work with demos. I have some songs that I haven't demoed yet, but let's see if I have time for that. So until tomorrow, see ya.